Hey guys, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Flash After Show. We're doing Season 3, Episode 7, Killer Frost. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello! Welcome to the Flash After Show. I'm your host, Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J, T-A-U-R-I-J-A-Y, but I can't do this alone, just like Varia, so I'm joined with two wonderful ladies. Starting on the end, Tiona.
Hello everyone, Tiona Hobson here. I hope I can have as much energy as you do tonight. You can find me at the Tiona Hobson.
Yeah. I'm Yael Tygiel. You can find me everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And I'm live in the chat with all of you. So hello.
Nice! Guys, we had a really interesting episode today. A lot of stuff happened. Some stuff that was super duper cool. Some stuff that was really interesting. I felt like we had a lot of good sequences. What did you guys think?
I think I was really excited about this episode, just like last week. I was very excited about the Wally episode, and I was disappointed. I'm going to be real honest. I was really disappointed. That said, I really like Killer Frost's look. Mm-hmm. I really like it, and I wish Caitlin looked like that all the time.
And you know, girls are really into that whole, like, graying out their hair look now,
yeah.
So I feel like it's also relevant to the times of 2016.
Interesting.
With the hair choice there. I agree with Yael. I was very excited. I was a little let down, but I also feel like, you know, it was great as well.
All right.
So I loved it, and there was parts where people were just making stupid decisions and saying stupid things, and I couldn't really back them on that.
Yes, I get that. I should note that this episode was directed by Kevin Smith. He's back for a second round in the Flash universe. So it was a monumental thing for him, and it was a really revealing episode. I mean, we got a lot more information about Savitar, who we only got a glimpse of at the end of the episode last time. And this time we got to see a glimpse of his power. We got to see him be really arrogant. And we got to see how no one else can see him. So we're the only ones who got to see it.
Yeah, I'm really glad we got more about him, because we got like 10 seconds of him in last episode, and it was very confusing.
Yes. And
I wanted more, and we got that, which I appreciated, and I would have been fine with an entire episode about what was going on with him. Mm-hmm. That would have been really helpful.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, that's all I have to say.
I mean, so here's what we know about him so far. We know that he is relatively invisible, but it could also mean that he just doesn't exist on this plane. Another thing that we know is that he's so fast he can appear to be everywhere at once. And also that he has knives in his hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
He's not Wolverine.
He could be.
He's not Wolverine.
He's like a robotic-looking Wolverine.
No, he needs to pull that thing back in.
You want him to get rid of his claws?
Yes.
Okay.
He shouldn't have claws. That doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
He's the god of speed. I was going to say he's the speed of God.
He's the speed god.
technically, his name means God of Motion.
Right. No, I heard it. I
Yes.
listened to HR.
Mm-hmm. Specifically on the ground, I don't know if he has it in the ocean. Yes, that joke was made. So
We went there.
I like that he was such a threat that it required us to bring Cisco and Caitlin out to rescue Barry. And we also got a fun scene of Barry getting ragdolled again, which is always nice.
And I love when Barry's getting ragdolled and the villain will always be like, had enough, and he's like, not even close. Like, dude, you can barely breathe. You have no upper hand here. You clearly have had enough. Maybe you should tap out or something.
Ivan in the chat said he's Wolverine's twin. Boo says he's Ultron's batter brother. But Godspeed Knight 7 points out that in the comics, Savitar does have claws.
That's true.
Well,
Good response, Yael.
thank you.
Wow, she still doesn't like see there's a little.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Whatever.
Yeah.
He doesn't need claws.
I was gonna let you have it.
Thanks.
You know.
But
Yeah.
anyways, that altercation was enough to send Caitlin over the edge into Killer Frost. So we get a lot of Killer Frost this episode, and I know that in the past the panel as a whole has been kind of hot and cold about Killer Frost, and so I know we've kind of speculated how her transition would be from the cute Caitlin Snow that we know into Killer Frost, and it was a very reluctant thing at first, but she really kind of took to it. I mean, what did you guys think? Did you think it was a fast turnaround from her going into a killer, or what?
I think it answers our question of can she be Caitlin, who then puts on the Killer Frost? Apparently she can't, but they're trying to make her that way, and I want her to be able to turn it on and off because I like our Caitlin, but I like Frost, who doesn't kill. Because so far she hasn't killed anybody, right?
I mean, we don't know what happened to the prisoner, but
The interrogation room.
yeah,
Yeah. She hasn't killed anybody yet.
right.
We're just gonna assume she hasn't. I agree, and here's my thing. I think that, like you, I just really like our Caitlyn, so I really just don't like the thought of her being Killer Frost, and so that's why I like her having powers, and I don't understand fully why she couldn't just use them for good. And I get that the powers took over her body and whatnot, but I was just like, but couldn't in this world she have just been a nice frosty bitch instead of
she could have
an
been
evil
Elsa.
one? Yeah.
Right.
That's what bugs me is her powers for some reason are making her evil, and that doesn't make sense because Caitlyn is good.
Yeah,
And
it's not like she was a
Yeah.
bad person before who got powers and is using them for evil. She's a good person who got powers. So like Barry, why didn't it make her a better human who's helping people with her powers?
I get that her purpose was that she wanted to find alchemy to take the powers away, and that's why she was being bad. But I feel like Caitlyn would have started off like, help me, give me information, and then gotten frustrated and hurt people as opposed to just
Threatening their lives
Yeah.
from the start.
Right.
Remember, I said I would freeze you to death.
yeah.
Well,
How she sounds, but
I'd like if she sounded
it also makes her voice 6 octaves deeper.
Yeah.
My name's Killer Frost.
my name's Killer Frost. I mean, you can't be, hi, I'm Killer Frost. You can't be all like high
she
pitched.
can. I'm a deadly snowflake. Yeah.
Don't play in the dark snow.
Yeah.
Hey, that dark snow's fine. I was thinking about it, and I would like the idea, and I feel like it's kind of there, but not overt. So it's really understated that her being bad is potentially because it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. She was afraid of becoming bad, and I think that she thought that her using her powers meant that she had to use them this way.
So did Elsa. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
but
She was
Elsa,
afraid to use her
parallels.
powers.
Conceal, don't feel.
Now I understand where Disney got all of their ideas for Frozen.
Yeah,
For Frozen
Killer
because
Frost.
I'm not saying that Frozen was around first. I know that this was around first. So.
well, I mean, technically, the Snow Queen
Yeah,
story
it's not
is
based on-
old.
anyway.
But
Yes.
I think that her knowing, quote unquote, that she was going to be evil or having that belief inside of her made it so she felt a little more liberated to do so. Like she felt like she could, bend a few rules because it was expected of her.
Sorry,
Matt-
I have my hand raised because I have a question. Sorry.
Okay.
Just,
Sorry, chat.
Sorry, just along the lines of what he's saying though. Cisco knew that in the other Earth he was evil over there, but when he started getting his powers, he didn't turn into an
That.
evil person on our Earth.
I'm pulling in HR. What she said.
Well, all right, let's do this.
Okay.
So
I'm so excited.
Sorry,
Please
chat.
teach
You had
me.
good comments.
Teach me.
technically, Cisco had his powers beforehand. So, I'd like to equate it to someone who is told their whole life that they're dumb. whether they're not smart or not, if they grow up believing that, then they'll exhibit those, and they'll never believe that they're capable of anything else. And so Cisco, before knowing he was Reverb, had the ability to choose his path with his powers, whereas Caitlin viewed her powers and her becoming Killer Frost as an inevitability.
Okay, I will respect that answer. Thank you for teaching me.
Booyakasha! What did the
Doesn't
chat
mean
say?
I agree.
Art Master Austin says Caitlyn's heart is freezing over because of her powers. That's a really good theory as to why she's evil. Jamie says the more she used her powers, it changed her brain chemistry and made her start to go dark. Interesting. East Blue Drew says Killer Frost can't be good because she hates her powers. It's like the X-Men not wanting to be mutants. And everyone wants us to talk about the snowberry kiss.
Oh, you mean that's a mentor's kiss?
I was gonna get there.
They keep going, talk about the snowberry kiss.
All right.
So I'm saying it.
All right.
Because I don't know if we're calling that the snowberry kiss.
I wanted to specifically, fans, say that I'm glad that we got the snowberry kiss that way. Like, I know everyone wanted it to be like this cute romantic moment, especially when we had Barry in season 1 or 2 take Caitlin home and take care of her while she was drunk and things like that. Everyone wanted it to be then, and I love that we got it as like a killer thing.
Yeah, I agree, because I don't... Sorry to the Snowberry Squad, apparently. So sorry. I don't think Barry and Caitlin are meant to be anything at all. And so seeing this kiss, I went, all right, if that's how we're doing it, fine.
Yeah.
Because any other way makes zero sense unless it's we're undercover or someone's coming or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got your snowberry kiss.
I'm just confused why people would be excited that this was their kiss. She was trying to freeze him to death.
Was she, though? Or was she just a victim of her own powers? It was like Rogue trying to kiss someone for the first time.
Bobby. Rogue trying to kiss Bobby.
Right.
But
Well,
they were...
it's like if Rogue and Bobby had a baby, and that baby started kissing people.
I really like the idea of Rogue and Bobby's powers, neither of them controlling it, both of them.
Just freezing back and forth.
It's so funny.
Well, I guess if Barry just vibrates real hard in bed, then it'll keep him warm from Caitlin.
That's true.
All you gotta do is vibrate.
Yeah.
That's true.
This was a filthy episode.
There was a lot of
real gross.
sexual
There were,
innuendos there.
a few things.
Those
icicles?
Icicles?
Uh-huh.
What was it you said to me? Gail?
Nothing. I didn't see nothing.
You don't want to say that on air?
I definitely did not.
So, I will say that I think the most interesting thing about Killer Frost is, and what makes me sad that she doesn't continue to be a villain, is that she has such intimate knowledge of the whole team. Like that moment when she stabs Barry in the leg and is basically saying that, I know everything about your powers and this will debilitate you for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Like that was very, very interesting. And I think that like if she would have continued as a villain, she would be probably the most formidable.
Very true.
Yeah. I really love the moment where she's in the pipeline and she's like, I'm all better. And I wanted somebody to be like, we can see you.
Your eyes are still blue and
like-
frosty.
Does she not know that she looks different?
I don't think she does.
Also, your voice is still vibrating in that weird
Yeah.
octave, so clearly you're not feeling better.
I really wanted someone to go, we can see you.
Yeah.
But instead they just closed the door on her. I actually thought we weren't going to see her for another 2 episodes.
Oh, really?
I thought they were going to put her in the pipeline until they could find a way to help her.
Yeah.
But instead, Barry pulled his reverse psychology, kill me.
Well, I thought that was a really nice moment, actually. Because, like, it allowed her...
It was another Snowberry moment because that's when she realized I'm in love with you, Barry, and I can't kill you.
Don't
Yeah.
encourage that.
I have to encourage this. They want more Snowberry scenarios. I'm giving you another one.
I was going to make a really inappropriate joke.
I can't wait to hear it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after the show. But, I mean, that also... So, this is my own thing, and now I'm turning to the camera. Kevin Smith, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you watch every week because this is the best after show about Flash ever. But I got really big Exorcist vibes from this Killer Frost performance. What with her using her intimate knowledge against Barry, pretending she's okay, and really like someone who's being taken over by. And she even has a moment when she expels ice from her mouth and turns her head almost all the way around. So if that, please confirm my suspicion that that was a very big influence on this episode. That would make my day. But anyways.
Love it.
But speaking of her using information against the team, she takes the time, was really considerate of her, to really take the time to reveal Barry's secrets, like the fact that Barry's actions killed Cisco's brother.
On that again.
Yes, but like there was that extra little piece that he didn't know that it was literally Barry's fault.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that they are able to kind of air it out. Because this, one, it gives us a sweet amount of drama, but also, like, it gives us a relationship to build again. Barry and Cisco were such instant friends that now we get to see them be contentious and try to work through something, which I find to be very intriguing.
The chat really does not like the bromance being broken up.
Thank you.
And they really want Cisco back as the comic relief.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I've been here saying, and I know it sounds insensitive because he lost his brother, and I couldn't imagine losing one of my brothers and the kind of person it would turn me into. But we're missing that from the show. And HR is there, and he's doing a quirky job at it, and he's trying to fill it. But the fact that Cisco is not there to really rally the team when they need that comedic relief is really hurting my heart on this show right now. It just sucks that he's not that guy. I understand what he's going through, and I understand why he can't be that person for Barry right now. It just sucks as a viewer to not have my Cisco. Like, that's my boy Cisco, and he's not himself. And it really makes me angry.
All right.
I really love that Caitlin put it all out there. I personally am like to watch a show and like to have all the secrets out in the open. I know that like dramas like to have this, we're keeping a secret and it causes drama, but there's such better drama if everybody knows. You know what I mean? Like, now we get to watch Cisco be really angry because he figured out, he like learned that not only is his brother dead and Barry's not going to do anything about it, but also it's Barry's fault.
Yeah.
That's so much more interesting than people keeping secrets. That said, I would like to see funny Cisco also. I like that. I understand him being incredibly sad right now. It is a very reasonable thing. Sometimes it takes months.
I mean, it's been
years.
7 weeks for me, okay?
Yeah, but
so
if we look at timeline-wise, Cisco's wearing the same shirt he wore last episode when they went to the movie because it's the next day.
Right.
So it's been a lot less time.
I know, but it just still sucks,
People need time to grieve.
People do need time to grieve, but on TV shows it usually happens faster. Like how you're, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant, and then the next episode you're having the baby. You know, like
What shows are you watching? You watch garbage.
I need the timeline. I need Barry to like run forward to the future so we can just get to where Cisco's happy again.
Speaking of future,
Because that might just mess things up even more.
Yeah, he's like, you abandoned us for 7 months. I'm not forgiving you.
Speaking of future, I really liked hearing about this when Killer Frost went and was bothering that guy whose house is set to 85 degrees.
Which I've decided, I've never lived anywhere outside of California, but I just feel like 85 is a little drastic.
That's so
to be sleep.
warm.
Like,
No.
Which makes sense as to why when she was like, it's freezing, go turn it off. And he was like, what?
I set it to 85. That's a hot summer day.
No, guys, they're being economical. If you set it to 85, that's
Then the heat is on.
nah, like you know,
It's not.
you know, so it doesn't turn on until the 85 is reached. Yep.
Okay.
That's how thermometers work.
Unless it's
Anyway.
on the heater.
Regardless,
Yes.
I was
The
saying
guy
something.
told her that he's seen the future and that she's brilliant
thank
in
you.
it.
That he's seen the future. Apparently, our Savitar, can show us the future. That's like a little thing that was dropped a few times in this episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, when are we going to see that? I got it. Like, Vibes got to touch him, and then we get to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we were to go back and kind of frame by frame the scenes of Savitar running through his like dimension, if we would be able to see like individual frames of like the future.
Oh.
I think that would be interesting. Chat, do that.
Someone do that. For us.
Yeah.
Or
Homework.
retroactively, if you're on YouTube right now watching us after 10 o'clock or whatever, then go back, watch those scenes, let us know in the comments below.
Ryan in the chat says 85 is way too hot for the house, and I live in northern Wisconsin. Ivan says 85 is insane. I agree. Anything above like 62 is ridiculous.
Wait, no. I'm not saying all that because mine's always set between 72 and 75. It's
too hot.
No, guys, it's. I'm not doing this. We're not doing this.
But
I want to talk about Barry and Iris.
No, wait, I have a Savitar question.
No.
It's a Savitar question.
Okay.
Am I allowed to ask a Savitar question?
Sure.
My house is 81.
Your guys' house is 81 right now. Go on.
Houses. Okay, Savitar question. So in the opening scene, he says something to Barry about along the lines of Barry serves the Speed Force, but he is its like Lord.
Right.
He is the Speed Lord.
He is the Speed Lord. But wasn't it like last season when the Speed Force was like, you're abusing us, Barry, and we're going to teach you a lesson. So why isn't the Speed Force getting involved with Savitar abusing his powers throughout?
Well, we don't know.
Are we going to get to that?
We don't know. Well, probably.
Am I thinking too far ahead, Tari? I look to you because I know nothing and I'm just watching and learning as I go.
I think we don't know that he actually is the god of speed.
Or he's just self-assigned himself, like...
Right?
Well,
Like how Lord Voldemort named himself Lord Voldemort. It's like, no one gave you that title, dude. You can't just name yourself a lord.
followers named him that. Well,
No, he did, and it, like, Tom...
yeah.
Anyway,
So, like, I mean, based on the canon, essentially, he can manipulate the Speed Force at will.
Mm-hmm.
So he, unlike a lot of the other speedsters, can absorb speed force from other speedsters, and he can also distribute it to his minions. Mm-hmm. So Barry does not have that mastery over it. So I get what he's saying. In terms of why the Speed Force isn't intervening, is that I would assume it's because, like, the Speed Force, as it kind of said, is that, like, it existed before they did, and it'll exist long after. Mm-hmm. Like, deities, like, forces of nature don't intervene on small matters. Like, a windstorm or a hurricane isn't going to appear because you're having a good or bad day. Like, nature doesn't care how anyone is feeling or existing, unless you are literally breaking the laws of nature. Then, there are repercussions. But one could assume that Savitar is a part of the Speed Force, or he is an ancient, he's an ancient person who maybe in this show they're going to have it be that the Speed Force originated from, depending on how they decide to use him within the lore.
Okay. Thank you, Tari.
Thanks.
You're
Tari.
welcome.
See, I just ask the questions, and you just provide me with answers, and I just have to believe you because I don't know any better.
You don't have to. You can be like, I don't believe you.
I'd let you know if the chat went, that's wrong. Yeah. They're all arguing about the Dark Lord, if he's Savitar or Voldemort.
I wonder who'd win in a fight. Savitar. It's no question. Anyways, I'd like to talk really quickly about the moment between Iris and Barry when Barry decided to do his like good impression of Oliver Queen and take the whole world on his shoulders.
Nice.
And Iris reassured him that, like, yes, he messed up, but, like, not everything is his fault.
It's not all about you.
Yeah.
something I had to learn. Barry should learn too.
Well, he should host a podcast
Yeah.
with me.
Yep.
So
Where you learn it's not about you.
yes. So I mean, I like the moment that we got between the two of them. In that,
good moment.
yeah, she. Not. This is gonna sound weird, but like she reminded us like why she is so integral to the team.
She reminded us as why she's around, because last week she kind of put it in question, being like, I don't have power. Sometimes I don't know what my purpose here is. And then you're like, oh, you're the one who keeps Barry inspired.
Yeah, I feel like she's Barry's pep talk. And she's been doing that like a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And I like Iris. I love the actress. I want her to do more than be a pep talk.
I agree. Though, I mean, pep talk, supportive girlfriend, what's the difference?
It's kind of like we got them together, so now we don't know what to do with her.
Yes.
Which is, I think, lazy writing.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Moving on.
Deflect. Guys, I'd like to take a moment to talk about iTunes.
About iTunes, please.
Love it.
Hey, guys. How are you doing? Do you love what we're doing? Because we love what we're doing.
Yep.
And we want you to keep enjoying this the way that we do. And the way you could show us that you are enjoying this is if you go on iTunes and you give us a rating, you leave a comment below, and we like read them out just for you. And we would love it if you gave us like what? A 5-star rating just to show how awesome we are, because that's what we are. And if you agree, hit them stars, baby.
Nice.
And leave a comment below, and we on this show will read it and
Every
praise
once in
it.
a while?
Yeah, every once in a while, whenever we remember. And also, if you're on a YouTube, make sure that you hit that thumbs up. Make sure that we know that you like it, so that our producers will go on and be like, hey, people love this show. Let's keep doing it. Because you don't want us to disappear in the night, do you? Because we'll do it. Just kidding. We're here forever. As long as you keep giving those stars. Yo, I hear that we have some reviews.
We do! Yay!
Very scared about if I might disappear now without my knowledge.
I have 2 reviews to read. That's right, 2. This review is from River C009. New look, same fun show, 5 stars. Just like Harrison, Harry, and HR, things change, but that doesn't mean things get less fun. Keep up the good work. P.S. Blame Barry for messing with the timeline and getting somebody elected as president.
Interesting.
5 stars from Master of Gamers Forever. Just a little quick review.
Ah.
Yeah. I love The Flash, and I love this after show. Jeff and Yael bring a great perspective, and listening to them every week is great. So are Tauri and Tiona.
No, it's fine. I don't need your approval.
Was this review helpful? Yes.
You're
Those are
you're trying to get us kicked off the show.
I'll be here forever.
Oh no, I'm disappearing in the night. Oh man. Oh no, someone just turned the lights off.
Okay.
All right.
Black joke.
Yep. Black joke. Bam.
We can make those because we're black.
Speaking of black people,
Thank you.
Wally is in the chrysalis.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
I like that
Thank
transition.
you. So yeah, we got Wally in there, and Joe is freaking out.
As a
It's
father would.
it's really interesting to see him be so, and it's nice to see him be vulnerable for once. But I don't like how many times he's like, "Science, what's that?"
I do. I felt like he was going, I'm like the audience of this show who goes, you're saying science-y, why-and-y, and I'm going, what can I do? And then he says, here's what I can do.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that. I liked that. I think he's an idiot for cutting it open and then going, I shouldn't have done that. Idiot.
Oh,
Yes.
And it was right after he said, I don't understand the time or the science stuff, so I'm going to go be a detective.
Right.
And then he came back and got a chainsaw or whatever. It was like,
Yeah, that's how detectives work.
Yeah.
they get shit done, apparently.
I mean, yes. I mean, I can appreciate him being so worried about Wally that he makes rash decisions. It's a rare side of Joe that we get to see, so I like that he got to play that in the same way that I like that Cisco gets to play a sad guy. It's very rare, and it lets them stretch their chops. Hey,
Who likes Debbie Downer Cisco? Come on.
I do.
Okay.
And it's crybaby Cisco. No.
I relate.
Yeah.
So I like him.
So I like seeing this side of Joe. I don't agree with his decisions.
Andrew in the chat says, Joe, I trust my gut. Joe, 5 minutes later, I shouldn't have cut the cocoon. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, that was great. I'm glad he acknowledged his mistake.
His mistake.
But it allowed us to have a cool moment where he gets to detect again. And HR, he is on fire this episode.
Yeah, I hate that he had good suggestions, but what I hate more is when he goes, that idea, let's do that idea. That's so clever. I had nothing to add.
Yeah.
Not a fan. I don't like HR. I don't like him at all. I also don't like that our theory got thrown out at the end of the episode.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I also don't like human resources.
No, I love human resources.
Yes.
HR is growing on me slightly. My favorite
fungus?
My favorite part of HR is make sure you guys at home are watching him in the background of scenes.
Yes.
Because when the camera is just panning by, he's back there making some of the best facial expressions. And you can tell he's really in character still, even though he's not in the scene really. So just make sure you guys are paying attention to that at home. Because I noticed it tonight and I was like, this is why I kind of love him.
I just will say, Tom Cavanaugh is an amazing actor.
That's true.
That's what you're liking, not HR. But the chat is asking about Wally's husk. I believe that once he left the room, there was a husk on the
There
ground.
was, yes.
Yes, so there was a husk.
Oh, were they disputing
husk?
that
Yeah.
whether there was a husk or not?
Yes.
Yes, because amongst all the debris, there was a Wally-shaped husk that you could barely see behind whoever was standing there.
It was just left where, after it exploded, it was left there.
Right. And they were able to whip up an elixir and fix Wally, and now he's like a legit speedster.
Yeah.
I don't trust that he's fine now.
Well,
That can't be it. Like, man, we're done.
yes. I mean, I think that there is. I think he now. This is a prediction.
Yep.
Yep.
Say it.
Nope.
Oh, no,
Okay.
you're not going to say it.
Hold on to it.
Yep, I'm gonna put that in my pocket. And so, speaking of things being evil, we get our sweet reveal after. But before we get our reveal, we get a nice little scene where Julian basically blackmails Barry into quitting the police force.
I was okay with it.
Let's face it, he hasn't really been
Doing his job.
involved
Yeah.
as much as he used to be involved in his CSIs.
And it doesn't really matter. Like, he's still solving crimes, and Joe's still a cop, and like,
One less set they have to have up, you know? It's like, okay, we get to replace this with a new room in the lab or something.
Though the argument, I mean, all of those were great points. But like, and in addition to that, I feel like he had valid points. Like in terms of Barry Allen, the Barry Allen we know is very much oriented towards the good of the people in his life as opposed to the greater good, which Julian was able to pick up from this one incident. But we've had 3 years of Barry Allen kind of pushing his way through things and making somewhat selfish decisions because he's a human being, and that's what makes him most interesting.
Wikipedia in the chat says, I forgot that he still had a job with the CSI. And G1X Rider 13 says, harsh, but Barry kind of deserved it.
But
and
then-
it's true.
It is, but then isn't it also sort of hypocritical considering what was revealed after
yes.
this conversation?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like hate
Well, of course.
pot and kettle.
yeah. Oh,
Another
yeah.
black thing.
Yeah. Black jokes.
Black jokes. Yes.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes. I mean, we get the reveal that Julian is alchemy,
Yep.
which some people saw that coming. Some people doubted it. Some people didn't want it to be.
It was obvious that that's where it was going. It just, you didn't want it to be that obvious, so you were hoping that it was something, there was a bigger twist in there.
Yes.
I don't want to be
somewhere.
rude, and this
Are
isn't
you
something
gonna
I.
call them lazy writers again?
Yes. I was gonna say this isn't something I like to say all the time. But it was lazy writing.
I mean,
We're gonna bring in a big guest star for this season. It's gonna be really impressive. We're also gonna have this new villain, and we're going to make people think that it's not this guest star, even though it's clearly the guest star.
yes.
Thank you, Draco. We get it.
Yes. So it was, I will say two things about it.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'll say two things about it.
It'll be one long thing.
Probably one long thing about it.
Okay.
I think that, yes, it was a little bit, like it was very much telegraphed that he was going to be alchemy. However, at the beginning of this season, I was very forthcoming about my desire to not care about who alchemy was. So this reveal is just a fact in the story, as opposed to it being like when Zoom was revealed and you find out that it was Jay. It's just like, cool, alchemy's this guy. How will that affect our story? And I think it has a lot, I think it will have a lot of impact.
I hope so. I think that the reveal that alchemy is just a follower was a bigger reveal than who alchemy is.
Right.
He's just the loudest follower.
Yeah.
That is very correct, because that, I was more shocked by that than I was by anything else that happened.
Yeah. I was actually really surprised because I thought for some reason at the end of last episode that Saboteur,
Savitar.
Yeah.
It's like Avatar, but with Sava.
Yeah.
the Saboteur,
Yes.
Savitar was alchemy. I was hoping that was the same thing.
Ah.
And so this one, when I went, oh, he's just a person in a stupid
Yeah.
robe and a dumb mask. Yeah.
He's in a plague doctor outfit. Okay.
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 He's dressed up like one of Voldemort's followers,
Yeah. You know,
hiding his identity under a
Robe.
robe.
eating death and things.
Yeah.
There was a question in the chat about Julian having a split personality. In fact, multiple people said, but does Julian have a split personality?
I could see that happening just because the way that the reveal happened with him hearing the voice in his head again and him saying no, no, and then the way that Savitar said, be my servant, and I can't remember if he said again or not,
Yes.
but it just seemed like, okay, maybe Julian didn't really know what he was doing this whole time.
Right.
But last week when Barry invited him to go to the movies in the park with everyone, but he was like, oh, I'm meeting up with my girlfriend. I was like, oh, because you're alchemy and you have to go cause some havoc over here.
Right.
So then I'm like, maybe he does know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, so this leads me into my predictions. So I think I'm going to push us into
You do it.
predictions.
Yes! Look at that.
Now,
Yeah.
your AfterBuzz
Impressive.
TV.
Thank you.
I'm so impressed with you, Tauri.
Ah,
You need to
shucks.
calm down.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll see you after the show.
Girl.
Boy, you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're writing together. Anyways, I feel like the moment that yes.
Okay, you all need to calm down.
This was more shocking of a surprise than Julian being alchemy.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever someone's powers are awakened by either Savitar or alchemy, they become basically a sleeper agent. So they live their lives, and then when called upon, Savitar, they basically become a devout follower. In the same way that when Wally's powers were awakening, he was himself, but then he also had an overwhelming desire to go to alchemy. So my assumption, and that is my prediction, is that Wally will be fine for a while, and then when he is essentially called to action by Savitar, he's going to become an enemy.
I also
like
believe that Wally will be fine for a while, but I thought it was just because they didn't let him incubate in his cocoon long enough. So maybe they disconnected him too soon. So he seems okay now, but he's gonna malfunction or something later.
Yeah.
I feel like Wally is more likely to malfunction and like pass out from running, or something where he's not healthy
Right.
because they didn't give him enough time. There are questions of if Wally will be evil. There are questions of if HR was playing mind games with Joe. All of these are questions from the chat.
Interesting. Tiona?
HR, I still don't know what to believe from him about this whole book that he's writing versus if he's just really good at playing dumb. But I do like him and Joe kind of hanging out a little bit because Joe is so serious and HR is such a joke that I do think the two of them together, I could see a little bromance happening there. But I don't know if he's playing Joe necessarily. He just likes to be the guy who kind of gets you to say the idea, and then he kind of puts some pixie dust on it a little bit to help you grow the idea until it's this huge thing. And earlier tonight he was right on some things with Joe. Later on he was wrong with the whole cut Wally out of the cocoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, cut him out of the cocoon.
He was like, I gotta get him there.
Especially after Kaylin explained the butterfly thing. That was very clearly
Yes.
explained. It's gonna be
understood.
liquid. He is liquid that will then be put back together.
So we are running short on time, guys. Do you have any very quick predictions for either the four-way crossover or anything for the rest of the season leading up to the mid-season finale or forever?
I don't think that's the last time we'll see Killer Frost.
Oh,
Okay.
no. I definitely think more Killer Frost. I think Wally's going to glitch. I think some big reveal with HR has to come out. And this alchemy, now that we know, they're going to find out that he's alchemy sooner. But none of that will be dealt with at all next week. I think none of this will be dealt
None
with.
of this matters
Because
next
of the
week.
four-way crossover.
Of course.
Which
Yeah.
I'm very giddy about.
Yeah.
It just every time it comes up and you see them all standing there together, it just I'm like, ooh, this is exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait for next week.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And speaking of, next week for the 4-episode, 4-night crossover, we, as the CW, ABTV, DC shows, will be crossing over. Yeah! We're going to be trading up panelists. Yeah! So tune in every day next week, Monday through Thursday.
And then
See
the Monday
who's
after.
coming in. Yes, indeed. So that'll be really exciting. And until then, we have the Thanksgiving break. So everyone's going to eat, be merry, ruminate over all this superhero dumb that we live in and how we are living in the best timeline when it comes to comics. So, while we are on vacation, where can they find you guys? Tiona.
Hey, if you guys want to talk to me instead of your family over Thanksgiving, you can find me at the Tiona Hobson on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I will be very much available on Twitter at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And I have a podcast that is free on iTunes and Stitcher. There are no new episodes through the holidays, so that's a good time to watch or listen to all of the rest of them. Intimate Interrogations, free on iTunes and Stitcher. Yes.
Nice. And I'm Tauri J. Miller, as you know, and you can find me at Tauri J, TAURIJAY. I also will be doing literally nothing over the next few days, so tweet me, and maybe we'll live tweet something together, because that would be bananas.
BANANAS.
Until then, we have a great holiday, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week.
I will see you next week. Back in a flash.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.